everybody, JC here with another TNINews video. And today we got a lot to cover, all Marvel related. But before we get into the news, I just wanted to share something cool with you. This is my latest purchase. It's my new command chair for the office. It is Captain America themed. No, I'm not sponsored to promote this. This is actually just something that I bought. I got it off Amazon. And so I just wanted to share it with you. And I got to say, it's actually a very comfortable chair. I was a little hesitant about getting something online like this without having actually sat in it and everything. But when, it arrived and I put it together and stuff, it was actually very comfortable. It's got good lumbar support and everything for my back. So definitely, it was a nice purchase. But just wanted to share that with you guys. But like I said, we've got a lot to cover today, and it's all Marvel related. The Marvel stuff has really kind of pushed everything else out of the way for today's news video, including the Q&A. I was going to try and do a Q&A today, but I think we've just got too much stuff to go over. It would just make the video too long. So Q&A will be back next week. If you have a question you want to ask, please ask it down below in the comment section and put Q&A next to it, and I'll try and get to it in the next news video. But for today, let's start off and talk about X-Men Legends. So this is the Apocalypse Build-A-Figure wave, and I just want to let you guys know, if you don't already know, it is currently up for pre-order at places like Big Bad Toy Store. Now, most places have this wave listed with an August 1st release date, and that pretty much corresponds with what I was told about this wave, that we'd start seeing it at the end of July or early August. Now, some places I heard Hasbro Toy Shop actually had the wave up for a very brief time, and I believe somebody said that they were listed with a July 1st shipping date. I don't know how that accurate that's going to be. Even if they listed it, I don't know if they're going to actually start shipping them on July 1st. And then I noticed GameStop has the figures listed on their website. They're not available or anything, but it looks like they also have them listed with a early July release date. So it's possible we might start seeing these in limited numbers at the beginning of July, but I think most places will actually start getting it more towards the end of July or even early August. Now, for those of you who live in Canada, so if you do live in Canada, apparently they are hitting Toys R Us shelves. You guys in Canada still have Toys R Us stores, and so apparently the Toys R Us's there are actually starting to get this wave in now. Those of us here in the United States, even though Toys R Us is still technically open for a short while longer, I would not expect to see these at any Toys R Us stores here in the US. But again, you guys in Canada, you're lucking out. You're getting these, looks like, a little bit early. Okay, the next piece of news is a little bit of surprise. GameStop this week, they briefly listed for or put up on their website a new Spider-Man Marvel Legend figure. This is going to be a GameStop exclusive, and again, I think somebody jumped the gun. They weren't supposed to put it up because it was only up there for a short time, and then they pulled it down. But of course, once it was out there, it spread all over the place. But they're doing a Spider-Man figure based on the new Sony PS4 video game that's coming out this year. So he's got the white symbol on his chest and everything. The figure is going to come with an extra pair of hands and a web line that he can swing with. I know some of you, I've seen mixed responses to the suit. I actually like the suit in the video game. I think the suit actually looks kind of cool when you look at it in the video game. I'm not sure it translates as well on this figure, at least based on this image. But we'll just have to see what the final product is. Now, this figure, when it was up on the GameStop website, was listed with a December release date. However, some of you have pointed out that oftentimes GameStop uses just a generic December release date for stuff when they don't have something specific. So I suppose it's possible we could see it sooner. But until GameStop officially puts it back up and everything, it's really hard to say. But definitely it should be out later this year. Again, it will be a GameStop exclusive. I'm sure they'll have it available on both online and at their stores. The last Marvel Legend exclusive that they had, which I believe was the Back in Black Deadpool figure, was not hard to get at all. In fact, ended up showing up at a lot of different places besides GameStop, but initially it was a GameStop exclusive. Also, for you 3 3/4 inch collectors or 4-inch collectors, there is also going to be this version of Spider-Man done in that scale as well. It's going to be released as a 2-pack, and again, that should be a GameStop exclusive. I also wanted to just share this in-hand image of the upcoming Marvel Legend Rider Series 6-inch Logan figure with motorcycle. So this is the next figure in that Rider series wave. I don't know the exact origin of where this image came from. I've been told one did pop up on eBay. I don't know if these have started to see some kind of very limited release. I haven't seen any indication of that. But again, I don't know what the origin of this image is, or where whoever took this image, where they got the figure set. So I don't know if it's showing up somewhere overseas or what have you, but I just wanted to share this pretty cool image. Looks like whoever took the image is recreating the scene from the Wolverine movie where he's riding the motorcycle and he does his claws down against the ground and everything. So kind of cool. Looks like a cool set. You know, if you just want a regular Logan figure, I think this is one that'll definitely be worth checking out. Now, switching gears a little bit off of Marvel Legends, and we'll be going back to Marvel Legends because I still have more news to share with you on that front. But I wanted to share some new images, promotional images for the upcoming SH Figuarts Avengers Infinity War Falcon figure. So we saw this figure a couple weeks ago at an overseas convention, the Tamashii Nations Comic Con, but now we're getting the promotional images. This figure will be going up for pre-order soon on June 20th and is expected to be released in January of 2019. And overall, I think this figure actually looks pretty good. I actually think the head sculpt looks really good. Looks like the actor. Some of you have, kind of been wishy-washy, thinking some think it's good, some don't. But I think it actually looks pretty good overall. You get two different. Looks like we're gonna get two different head sculpts with this one with the goggles and one without. And then the wings look to be articulated, and you can remove them. And also, he's going to come with his gun. So that's, to me, is kind of the cool thing, is he's going to have the guns, being that Hasbro didn't give us any weapons with the Marvel Legend version. One thing that it does appear to be missing, though, is his Red Wing. No Red Wing drones. It doesn't look like we're getting with the set. But still, overall, it looks like a well-articulated and a decent-looking figure, so might be worth checking out. Again, that figure is slated for release in January of 2018. So you got a little ways to go before it's actually going to be released. Now, also, while we're on the Tamashii Nations front, they released some new images for some of their other upcoming Avengers Infinity War figures. So a couple new images for Black Panther, which, looks pretty good. That's probably, I'm not super excited because it's very similar to the Civil War version. But then the Mark 50 Iron Man, now this is the first one that they're doing with the canon, and that one's going to be out in July. And then also a new image of Thanos, and that also is going to be out in July. And Thanos is definitely looking pretty good. This figure arts version of Thanos I am liking. And then I like this image that they shared that shows a comparison between the Iron Spider and Thanos and Iron Man, and you can just see how tall Thanos is, especially next to Spider-Man. So, definitely, I don't know how many of you are collecting the SH Figuarts. I only get some here and there. Well, I actually got most of them recently, but from a collector standpoint, I really only like a few of them, at least as opposed to being better than, say, Marvel Legends or stuff. But some of these Infinity War figures I think are definitely looking good. Thanos, I like the Iron Man figure. It is, like I've said before, disappointing that we're going to have to get two different Iron Man figures to get all of his accessories, the wings, the arm cannons, the foot clamps, and all that stuff. But still, definitely I think it's a cool looking figure. Okay, now switching back to the Marvel Legend front. So we got a big surprise this morning. Apparently Hasbro is going to be doing some more Netflix figures, which is not really the surprise there, but it's how they're doing it. They're doing it as a 2-pack. And so we're finally getting Luke Cage. And I know many of you have been wanting Luke. That's probably been the one in biggest demand. And I got to say, this figure is looking top notch. It looks just like the actor and everything. So I even like the touch with the watch and such. So definitely like that. The only thing that's missing is a sweatshirt. Maybe they'll give us a bullet hole riddled sweatshirt that you can put on the figure. But I definitely think the figure is looking good. Now, again, this is going to be released as a 2-pack, not in a regular wave. The second figure in this set, surprisingly, is Claire Temple. I know some of you were like a little upset that it wasn't Iron Fist. I feel very confident that Iron Fist will be released, possibly in a second 2-pack. But, I definitely, some way, somehow, we will see Iron Fist. Hasbro will, I have no doubt, will end up rounding out the entire Defenders team. But this particular set is coming with Claire. And let's be honest, Claire is she's been in almost every Netflix TV series Marvel TV series that's been there. She's a major character. She has a close relationship with Luke Cage. So, I mean, honestly, she is probably just as important. Now, this is going to be a Walmart exclusive. It is I don't have a release date. Now, I will tell you though that the overseas e-tailer Robot Kingdom, who often carries these stores exclusives because again they're overseas. Overseas, it's not a Walmart exclusive. They will be carrying this set. They have it listed with a June 14th release date. They often get it before like the stores here in the US do. So I don't necessarily expect the set to be released in June here in the US. But of course, if you do want to get it early, you can pre-order it from them. They are a sponsor to the channel. So, feel free. The only downside with them is, again, they're overseas. So you do have to pay a bit more in shipping. Now they list it with a $50 price tag. I don't know if it'll be that much at Walmart. It might be. I wouldn't be too surprised if it was. That is a little more expensive. Normally these 2 packs are around $40, but being an exclusive and everything, I wouldn't be too surprised if it ended up being $50. At least to start out. A lot of times these things end up discounted, so you might end up being able to get it cheaper even than $40. But like I said, I don't have it confirmed what the price here in the US is. I just know what Robot Kingdom is currently listing it. Now, one might speculate that we might see a second 2 pack with Iron Fist and maybe Colleen. Those two are pretty close, so I could see that happening. Uh, Maybe even I've seen some of you suggest, and I certainly think it's plausible that like we saw with those Target 2 packs with the Stan Lee Build-A-Figure that I talked about earlier this week. Maybe they'll include some Build-A-Figure pieces with these, and maybe we'll finally get Kingpin as well. That would be cool. But like I said, right now, all we know for sure is that we're getting Luke Cage and Claire Temple, and this set is slated to be a Walmart exclusive. Okay, and then the final bit of news I wanted to share with you guys today is in regards to the new Spider-Man Legends wave, the one with Dr. Octopus. The Build-A-Figure is that strange SP//DR. I don't know who came up with that name, but it's definitely kind of a weird and actually a pain in the ass kind of name to say. It's the Spider-Man mech suit from the Spider-Verse storyline. Again, I know a lot of you have been like, why did they choose that? I think mainly because it's just kind of cool looking is why they went with it. And I don't mind when they go with obscure characters like that, but definitely, I hate the name. I don't know why they named it that. You would think they could come up with a better name. I haven't actually read the stories with it, but definitely I don't really like that name. But anyway, the wave, which is hitting the UK, specifically the Forbidden Planet stores. So if you have a Forbidden Planet near you, you might want to go check it out. I've heard they have been selling fast, even though they've actually been limiting them to one per customer, one figure per customer, but they still have been selling fast, as I'm told. I think they only got a few cases each. Each store only got a few cases, and we'll probably be getting more in a few weeks. I don't know when this wave is going to hit shelves here in the United States. I was told late summer, like August time frame, but maybe we'll see it early. I don't know. It seems like all these waves are hitting overseas well before they're hitting here in the United States. That's almost become par for the course with Marvel Legends. We've got the X-Men hitting Canada. We've got this wave hitting England. A while back we had the Silver Surfer Walgreens exclusive hit Mexico. So, it just seems par for the course. It's like we should start playing a game where it's like, guess what country the next wave of Marvel Legends is going to show up in? Because I'm sure the Deadpool 2 wave and the Venom wave will hit somewhere overseas before it does here in the US as well. I don't know where. But anyway, the wave is going to include, and it's a pretty cool wave, it's going to include the Dr. Octopus figure. And Doc Ock, he doesn't have the bendy wires in the arms, but, you can move the arms around a bit. And the figure has 4 holes on the back, and you can put those arms in any of the 4 holes. The arms are a little bit different shaped and stuff, so you can kind of move them around. So put them in different positions and such. And those little clamp pieces are apparently removable on the tips of the arms as well. So definitely that is looking like a cool figure. And that figure is the figure that is 2 per case for this wave, so it's probably the most going to be the most popular. And Hasbro did pack an extra one of him in the case, which again is a good thing. The other figures are the modern Scarlet Spider. So this comes with an unmasked cane head, which essentially looks like Peter Parker. He's got whited out eyes and such. Looks pretty good. We're getting a new Elektra figure in this wave. We're getting the all new all different Daredevil figure in the black and red costume, not to be mistaken with Shadowland. I know when I first saw this figure at the convention, I thought it was Shadowland Daredevil, but it wasn't. And definitely looks cool. I like the coolest thing to me is the weapon, the Billy Club. They actually did the Billy Club right for once. I hate that Billy Club where you just attach the pieces and it's always bent and doesn't really represent the Billy Club. So this has actually got the string in between the two handles, so I definitely like that. We're getting Cloak and Dagger. Cloak comes, or Dagger I should say, comes with a dagger effect, so it looks like she's throwing her light daggers. And then Cloak, it doesn't really have any accessories, but you can take the head and the cloak off the body. He does have an actual body. At Toy Fair, I thought it was just the head and the cloak. I actually thought it was going to be all one figure set, Cloak and Dagger, but they actually split it up into two different figures. And you can take the head off with the cloak and then kind of put your dagger figure so it looks like she's coming out of his cloak, which is kind of what they do in the comics. So I definitely think that's that's probably those are the second two figures that I want most from this wave. And of course they have their own TV series, which I believe debuted this week. I haven't seen it yet, but they're TV stars now, so that's probably why they're getting the action figure treatment now. And then we're getting House of M Spider-Man, which is probably my least favorite figure in the wave. House of M, Toy Biz did House of M figures back in the day, but I can't say I had a strong desire for an updated Spider-Man figure in the House of M costume. If you didn't like the PS4 costume, I think this costume's even worse, to be honest. If you're a fan of House of M, will we get more House of M figures? I don't know. It's a pretty old storyline. I was a kid when it came out, so if you're not familiar, House of M takes place in an alternate reality, kind of like the Age of Apocalypse storyline. And in this storyline, Magneto is basically rules the planet with other mutants and stuff, and so you got a lot of different alternate versions of characters and stuff. And again, like I said, Toy Biz did a number of figures for House of M back in the day. So like I said, definitely jealous for you guys over there in England that are getting your hands on these figures. Hopefully we will see it sooner than late August, but that again was the last intel I had on this wave for the US was late August. Okay, so that is it for the news today. A lot of Marvel stuff, in the last few days, so I just wanted to shoot out this video. I will be resuming my DC Essentials figure review starting on Monday, so I believe on Monday. I'm going to take the weekend off, but I will be picking those back up and finishing the remaining three figures, the Flash, the Reverse Flash, and Deathstroke figures next week. So hopefully you will check it out. And if you haven't already, please check out my DC Essentials Batman review that I posted yesterday. So thanks for checking out the video. Let me know what you think about everything we talked about. Again, if you have a Q&A question, feel free to put it in the comments section as well, and I'll try and get to it next week. And as always, like the video if you're so inclined. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And of course, you can follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch accounts. I have links to all those in the video description as well. And until next time, guys, I will catch you later.